Hey everybody, I'm really sorry I couldn't join you today. This was a very difficult decision. I spent a good amount of time figuring out if I could cancel my class, but ultimately I decided I couldn't because of the work we're doing here in New Orleans, and I don't think Don would want me to. I'm here in New Orleans today with my class. It's a service learning class. We do wetland restoration, we do install food gardens, all kinds of fantastic stuff. And that's a direct consequence of me meeting Don Canestro more than 30 years ago. In fact, I talk about Don to all my students every semester. So I met Don when I was an undergrad at UCSB, and he was running a lab. And I came to science late. I wasn't a traditional science type person, and came to science late. And when I figured out I might be interested in science, I started going around to doors, different biology doors in Nobel Hall and all the different places in Santa Barbara, and I knocked on 39 different doors. And so maybe it was a comment about me, my quality back then, but knocked on all these doors, and I was coming late to science. I said, hey, I'd like to start volunteering and getting some experience. Everybody said, no room for you. Nope. Not a hard, haven't been doing science for a couple years, haven't been doing biology for a couple years. Yeah, no thanks, we don't really use that many undergrads anyway. I was getting really discouraged. Knocked on and I almost stopped several times. Finally knocked on this one door. Guy opened up, curly hair, flip-flops, flop, walks over. Hey, who are you? And I said, hey, I'm looking to help out. He's like, great, we can use some help. And he said, we have this horrible crap job, so do you want to do it? And I said, sure. So they stuck me on a boat in the Santa Barbara Channel. When everybody else would go dive down, I was left on the bow of the boat waiting for these anoxic sediments to come up to the top of the surface. I would put in formalin, and this was before iPhones. I guess we had Walkmans, but I didn't have one at the time. And I would be sitting there getting sick, smelling this nasty stuff, throwing up overboard, and everybody else was having fun underwater. After many weeks of that, Don said, huh, you haven't quit. A lot of people sort of quit at this stage, but you're sticking around. Let me show you stuff. So Don opened the world. Don changed my world. That was the first real step that took me down the path that I'm following now. He showed me engines, he showed me how to dive, all that kind of fantastic stuff, all because he thought this weirdo dude deserved a chance, or we'll see if this guy was cool. That was Don. He was very gregarious. He was an awesome dude. Did that for a while, and then he said, hey, actually we can pay you part-time, and actually if you get research certified, we'll actually pay you to be a diver. Awesome. Opened up another whole series of worlds for me. And I have many fond memories of Don and me, and a lot of it involved him trying to have fun and me trying to get homework done. So we would go up to Montano de Oro, for example, to get mussels for a mussel watch program, and getting the mussels would take about 5 minutes. And so I'd like to go up and get the mussels, head home, but no, Don had to go surf for a few hours. So I would sit in the truck and be studying and reading, like, what the heck's he doing? He's into surfing. Great. Surfing. I don't know what Don is to me. I really don't. I've been trying to think about this for a long time. He was older than me, so he was kind of like, I wouldn't call him dad. That's not the right thing. Friend, definitely. I think the closest analogy might be something like an older brother. A significantly older brother maybe, but still. But older brother that had hair and stuff, so that was cool. So he was really the person that really taught me how to be a scientist. I had wonderful mentors there in my undergraduate and afterwards, but he really showed me how to be a fantastic scientist and how to be a great person at the same time, even though he did frequently release gas and maybe pass an off-color joke or two around. But it was fantastic that we could be ourselves and still be true to science and still be dedicated to helping other people and learning about our planet. After I left UCSB, I went to graduate school, still huge friendship. I went to graduate school, Don went up to Santa Cruz, as many of you guys know, and met a young lady named Miranda, who's probably running around right now doing something with making sure everybody's facilitated with everybody up there at the camp. But in any event, she took Don to another phase of his life, actual, marriage and all that kind of crazy stuff. So I've known Don as a single man. I've known Don as a young guy coming up. I've known Don in sort of that middle-aged phase. And later on, when Don and Miranda went down to the rancho, my wife and I went up to Stanford. Other friends of ours, Mike and Shelly, and everybody went down south. So we were getting spread out. So we started, and all of our kids were born, first kids or youngins were born within a month or so of each other. And so we started having these baby roundups at the rancho. So we would come down from the Bay Area, then Garros would come up from San Diego, and we'd meet in Central California, and the kids would play on the lawn and do all that kind of stuff, and we would hang out and drink beers and eat and all that kind of fantastic stuff. So I've also known Don as fellow dad, and through that transition. And the last transition was when I became a professor at Cal State Channel Islands, and when I was building my classes, I wanted to have an experiential opportunity. I wanted to have ways for students to engage with the natural world and to have fun with it the way Don showed me how to do that. And so I started bringing classes to the rancho, and every single class that I would bring, I was very proud to introduce my students to Don. And so I'd tell them all about him ahead of time, this crazy dude, and all this stuff, and come up, and I would be very proud to introduce my students to him, and he would always interrupt me and say, no, I'm really proud of you. I look up to you. And that meant so much to me. Again, Don was a friend of mine, but he was much more like a brother and all these things to me. I'm a much better person for having met Don Canestro. All kinds of stories. I learned how to relieve myself in interesting ways off boats. I learned how to engage with the crazy bureaucracy of academia by ignoring it and all that kind of stuff. Also, how to be a man, a true man, in a world that has all kinds of, besieged by all kinds of different forces. And so I'm really, really sorry I couldn't be there with you guys to share all kinds of stories with Don about you. I hope I get to hear some of them. But I just wanted to say thank you everybody for being a part of Don's life, because that helped me and my family have our life. And he will always be a part of my life, both professionally and personally. And so with that, I would love to leave you with a fart on demand or something like that, but I can't quite do it. But even here in crazy New Orleans, the sky is raining right now. A little bit sadder that we don't have Don to share with us, but very happy that we had all this wonderful time that we did with him. So you guys have a great day, and looking forward to the stories. Love you, Don. See you soon, hopefully.